Given all the talk about the US not manufacturing things anymore, it's surprising when you look at the numbers. The US is the second largest manufacturing nation in the world. It contributes about 15% of the total value of what is manufactured globally. China is the biggest at 31%. But when you look at the US, 10% of its GDP, the value of the goods and services produced, is from manufacturing. Compared to the rest of the world or globally, 17.5%. And manufacturing in the US continues to grow. On a real net of inflation basis, manufacturing in the US has grown about 1.5% per year over the past 5 years. Now that's about half the global rate. But get this, look at this chart. This is the value in billions of dollars of what the US manufactures. The US is the largest manufacturer of motor vehicles. It manufactures more computers and electronics than Europe. The US produces about the same amount of chemicals and pharmaceuticals than Europe and China. Where the US really lags, it's in textiles and other goods that are simpler to make, that are less complex, that the advantage of countries with low wages, poor nations, is what lets them be very competitive. But overall, the US is a big manufacturer. And get this, the average disposable income on a per capita basis, per person basis, in the US, about $65,000. This is disposable income after taxes. In China, it's about $5,700. The US earns 10 times more than China, which is why China can be very competitive when it comes to making clothes and other simpler products. But now even China is finding there are other areas that have even lower cost. If the US is going to continue to increase its manufacturing, it has to focus on those areas where it can be competitive. That tends to be more complex manufacturing, those that use robotics, and those where the US can continue to maintain an edge while keeping per capita income high. It's unrealistic to think the US is going to bring back manufacturing of textiles or other low value added products, because that would require the US to reduce disposable income per household because wages would be down. So we'll see as the tariffs get implemented whether manufacturing comes back or how much comes back. But in the meantime, manufacturing in the US continues to grow, but it tends to be focused on areas that are much more complex where the US can have an advantage. What do you think? Does the US manufacture enough? Will it be able to manufacture more?